Well, I don't think that we should be together. Because I want to be great.
And you're not.
I want to be one of the greats.
It's a question without a clean answer. It's subjective. But here's what I think. If you choose to give up everything for your dream and still fail, you have to live with the fact that you lost it all. If you fail, you have no right to ask questions like, why is this happening to me? Or life isn't fair. This is the price you pay for choosing this path. And giving up everything for a dream doesn't guarantee you will achieve it. And that's exactly what Whiplash is about. It's not just a film about jazz, it's a brutal story of obsession, ambition, and what it means to go all in. It asks what happens when someone takes that path, and it embodies Fletcher's philosophy that greatness can only be forged by pushing people to their absolute limit, even if that means yelling, breaking, and outright abusing them. In his mind, the end justifies the means if it produces brilliance. Andrew was just another drummer in just another band until the day Fletcher heard him. He saw Andrew playing alone, locked in, fully focused. He saw passion, and from that first interaction, their roles were set. Fletcher, the dominant, intimidating mentor, Andrew, the insecure but hungry student. Andrew knew instantly that Fletcher was harsh, cold, unpredictable, a teacher who didn't care about feelings, who would scream insult and humiliate you in front of everyone if that's what it took to push you further. And Andrew didn't walk away. He wanted greatness badly enough to endure the abuse. He swallowed his pride, cut out distraction, even broke up with his girlfriend, all to focus on his dream. He gave up everything. But Andrew's story isn't unique. History is full of people who made the same bargain and paid the same price. Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer is one of the clearest real-life examples of this all or nothing mentality. He didn't just play chess, he lived it. From the age of 6, he was obsessed. While other kids played outside, Fischer was alone for hours studying opening, memorizing games, and sharpening himself into a machine built to win. He didn't care about friends or school. All I want to do is play chess. I don't care about anything else, he once said. And this is where the link to Whiplash becomes clear. The moment Andrew joined Fletcher's band, he followed the same trajectory. Everything else, relationships, rest, balance, become irrelevant. He pushed away anyone who doubted him and poured every ounce of energy into becoming the best. Fischer rose quickly, and in 1972, he beat Boris Spassky to become world chess champion, one of the most famous moments in history. But victory didn't free him. It trapped him. Soon after, he vanished. He refused to defend his title, avoided the spotlight, and became paranoid and isolated. His genius had a cost, not just social, but psychological. The obsession that made him great also broke him. Just like Andrew, Fischer achieved what he wanted, but at what cost? And that question doesn't just belong to drummers and chess prodigies. It reaches into the history of the greatest art ever made. Now back to Fletcher. Was he right? Is it worth it pushing someone to the edge just to squeeze out their best work? Maybe. If you fully understand what you are signing up for and you willingly choose that pressure, the brutality might not matter. What matters is that it's your choice. But not everyone has that choice or the same capacity to endure it. Some people thrive under pressure, others break, and that difference can mean the gap between greatness and ruin. One of history's greatest composers might never have reached his level without a similarly merciless mentor, his own father, and I'm certain every single one of us has heard one of his compositions. Most of us know his name, but only few know his story. Ludwig van Beethoven might never have reached his level without a strict, relentless mentor pushing him to the limit. His path to greatness began in a home ruled by obsession and fear. His father, Johann van Beethoven, was determined to manufacture a prodigy. He didn't see Ludwig as a child. He saw him as a project. Johann's dream was to create the next Mozart, no matter the cost. He pulled Ludwig out of school early. focusing his entire upbringing on music. The result, Beethoven grew into a genius of sound, but he also struggled with basic skills like spelling and math for the rest of his life. His mind was trained for one thing and one thing only, composing. Johann even manipulated the public image of his son. When Ludwig gave his first public performance at age 7, his father claimed he was sex, just to make him appear even more extraordinary. But behind the polished stage lights, the reality was darker. If young Beethoven played poorly, he was beaten. Sometimes he was locked in the basement, forced to practice for hours until he cried. This was Fletcher's philosophy.
I was there to push people beyond what's expected of them. I believe that is an absolute necessity.
But far more personal and without the students' consent. And yet, it worked. Out of this brutality came a composer whose music would survive empires, revolutions, and centuries. Beethoven's works redefined the possibilities of sound itself. He created beauty while going deaf, an almost superhuman act of defiance against his own body. But the trauma never left him. He was known for his volatile temper, emotional distance, and deep loneliness. He never married. He often pushed people away, and depression haunted him for the most of his life. And here is the most tragic twist. Beethoven, having been shaped by this relentless pressure, tried to pass it on. When he became guardian of his young nephew Karl, Beethoven attempted to mold him with the same strictness and control that had defined his own childhood. He controlled every part of Karl's life, set impossible demands, and couldn't understand why the boy didn't respond to pressure the way he had. Why it didn't shape him but broke him instead. To Beethoven, this was the only path to greatness. But Karl didn't see greatness. He saw prison, and eventually that prison drove Karl to attempt to take his own life, just like some student under Fletcher's philosophy, crushed by a weight they couldn't carry. So the question comes back again, not just for Beethoven, not just for Andrew or Bobby Fischer, but for every name etched into history. Is it worth it? Would the world still have their art, their victories, their legacies, if they had chosen balance over sacrifice, kindness over cruelty? We will never truly know. But what we do know is this: greatness always costs something. Every record broken, every masterpiece created, every title earned, someone somewhere paid for it. And we can't forget about all the others who sacrificed everything for their dreams and still failed. So, what do you think? How far is too far in the pursuit of greatness? And is the price worth paying? I would love to hear what you think. And in case you still didn't watch Whiplash, I suggest you to watch it. And as always, don't forget to use your mind over media.
So imagine if Jones had just said, "Well, that's okay, Charlie. That was all right. Good job." And Charlie thinks to himself, "Well, shit, I did do a pretty good job." End of story. No bird. That to me is an absolute tragedy.